When it comes to health after 60, most of us think about diet, exercise, and maybe a few supplements. But rarely, almost never, do we talk about what's closest to our skin every single day, our underwear. It might seem trivial, even a little silly. But what if the wrong kind of fabric, the wrong fit, or even a long-standing laundry habit is quietly making you uncomfortable, increasing your risk of irritation, or worse, infections? This isn't just about fashion. It's about how small, invisible choices can affect your well-being in big ways. In this video, we'll uncover 7 critical mistakes many women over 60 make with their underwear, and how simple changes can bring surprising relief, renewed confidence, and lasting comfort. Problem 1. Wearing synthetic underwear daily. For decades, synthetic fabrics have been marketed as the gold standard in modern underwear: sleek, smooth, moisture-wicking, and invisible under clothes. For many women, especially those over 60, these qualities were attractive. The silky feel of nylon or the stretchy hug of spandex made us feel stylish, supported, and even a bit youthful. But there's a hidden danger in wearing synthetic underwear every day, one that often goes unnoticed until our bodies begin to protest. As we age, our skin becomes thinner, more delicate, and far more prone to irritation. The hormonal shifts of menopause reduce natural lubrication and affect the balance of protective bacteria in our intimate areas. While these changes are natural, they also mean that what used to work for us, like synthetic underwear, may now be working against us. Synthetic fabrics, including nylon, polyester, and spandex, are not breathable. They trap heat and moisture close to the skin, creating a warm, damp environment. While that might not sound alarming, it's the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, yeast, and fungi. What starts as minor itching or redness can quickly escalate into chronic irritation, persistent infections, or recurring rashes. Many women mistake these discomforts for other causes: detergent, dry weather, or even poor hygiene, without suspecting their underwear could be the culprit. But when you're wearing synthetic fabrics for 12-16 hours a day, every day, your skin has little chance to breathe, recover, or stay dry. The fix? It's refreshingly simple. Switch to 100% cotton underwear for daily wear. Cotton is naturally breathable and highly absorbent. It wicks away moisture and allows air to circulate, which helps keep the skin dry and cool. Exactly what aging, sensitive skin needs. When I made the switch, the results were immediate. The burning eased. The constant itching faded. My confidence returned. It felt as though I had finally given my body permission to relax again. What's more, cotton underwear today isn't just granny panties. There are stylish, flattering, and beautifully made options designed specifically for mature bodies. High-rise briefs with soft elastic bands, organic cotton with seamless stitching, and even modern cuts that don't sacrifice beauty for comfort. It's understandable to feel hesitant about leaving behind those sleek synthetic options, especially if they've been part of your wardrobe for years. But reframing the change as an act of self-care, not sacrifice, can make all the difference. This isn't about giving up style. It's about protecting the very skin that's carried you through decades of life, love, and experience. If you're experiencing persistent itching, redness, strange odors, or frequent infections, consider this gentle but firm reminder. Your underwear might be to blame. And the solution might be as easy as changing what you wear closest to your skin. Give your body the breath of fresh air it deserves, one pair of cotton underwear at a time. Problem 2. Holding on to old underwear too long. We all have that favorite pair of underwear. Soft, perfectly stretched, familiar like an old friend. It hugs in all the right places, makes you feel at home, and somehow survives laundry day after laundry day. But here's the uncomfortable truth. No matter how beloved they are, old underwear becomes a hidden threat to your health, especially after age 60. Unlike a sweater or scarf, underwear undergoes a unique kind of wear. It absorbs sweat, body oils, discharge, and bacteria every single day. Each wash and wear cycle breaks down the fibers, weakens the seams, and creates microscopic tears that trap bacteria deep within the fabric. Over time, even the cleanest-looking underwear can harbor pathogens you can't see. and your aging skin isn't as equipped to fight them off anymore. The result? More irritation, more infections, and an increased risk of rashes or even chronic skin conditions in delicate areas. One of the reasons we hold on to old underwear is emotional comfort. It's familiar, it fits, it doesn't roll down or pinch. But what if that comfort is costing you long-term well-being? Doctors recommend replacing underwear every 6 to 12 months, not because they're selling something, but because our bodies change, and so does the fabric. Even if you're washing your underwear in hot water, using hypoallergenic detergent, and storing them neatly, time wears everything down. Stretchy bands lose their strength, fabric holds in moisture longer, and the shape becomes distorted, leading to chafing, sagging, and friction that older skin can't tolerate like it used to. Making the switch doesn't mean throwing everything away at once. Start small. Replace 1 or 2 pairs every couple of months. Prioritize the ones that are thinning, misshapen, or no longer feel supportive. Think of it as an investment in your health and comfort, not just a wardrobe update. You may be surprised at how much better you feel, not just physically, but emotionally. There's something deeply nurturing about putting on a fresh, soft pair of underwear that fits well. It tells your body you matter, you deserve care. If you're concerned about waste, look into textile recycling programs, or donate gently used pairs to organizations that accept them. It's not about being wasteful, it's about being wise. Your underwear is the first thing you put on in the morning, and often the last thing you take off at night. Shouldn't it be something that supports, protects, and respects the person you've become? Give yourself that small upgrade. It's not just fabric, it's self-respect woven into every thread. Problem 3. Wearing tight underwear. For many women, especially those of us over 60, there's a deep-seated belief that tight underwear equals good support. After all, snug fits were once praised for holding everything in place, smoothing silhouettes, and making clothes fit just right. But what if that long-held idea is no longer serving us? What if that tightness is actually doing more harm than good? As we age, our bodies go through natural and necessary changes. Skin loses elasticity. Fat distribution shifts. Muscles soften. What felt supportive at 30 can feel suffocating at 65. And yet many of us still cling to tight underwear out of habit, aesthetics, or that quiet internal voice that says, I should still fit into this size. But here is the truth. Tight underwear is not a sign of discipline or style, it is a hidden health hazard. When elastic bands dig into your waist or thighs, they reduce blood circulation and create constant pressure on fragile skin. Over time, this friction can cause painful chafing, deep red marks, skin breakdown, or worse, nerve compression. There's even a medical term for it, meralgia paresthetica, a condition where tight clothing compresses a nerve near your pelvis, leading to tingling, numbness, or even burning sensations in the thighs. Many women suffer from it silently, thinking it's just part of aging. But it's often as simple as changing what you wear. Besides nerve-related problems, tight underwear also traps heat and moisture. This creates an ideal environment for bacteria and yeast, especially dangerous for postmenopausal women whose natural defenses are already lower due to hormonal changes. If you've ever noticed recurring irritation, rashes, or infections down there, your tight panties might be the silent culprit. When I finally decided to size up, the difference was astounding. I felt immediate relief. No more digging, no more shifting uncomfortably in my seat, and no more end-of-day soreness. I realized I'd been punishing my body, expecting it to stay the same through decades of living, loss, love, and growth. And the truth is, there are beautiful, well-made underwear options out there that don't suffocate you to look flattering. High-rise briefs with wide waistbands, soft cotton that moves with your body, seamless edges that don't cut into the skin. Underwear that respects your curves instead of trying to constrain them. It's also important to do the finger test. If you can't comfortably slide a finger under the waistband and leg openings, it's too tight. Your underwear should hug you gently, not bind you. We've earned comfort, we've earned freedom. We've earned the right to let go of outdated expectations about how our bodies should look or feel. And when you give yourself permission to prioritize ease over appearance, your whole relationship with your body changes. So next time you reach into your underwear drawer, ask yourself, is this helping me feel safe, healthy, and free? Or am I still trying to squeeze into an idea of myself that no longer fits? Problem 4. Wearing underwear to bed. For many of us, slipping into bed with a clean pair of underwear feels as natural as brushing our teeth. It's part of our nightly ritual. Pajamas on, lights off, underwear snug. We've done it for decades, never thinking twice. It feels modest, hygienic, even comforting. After all, our mothers told us to always wear something just in case. But what if that trusted routine is quietly doing more harm than good? As we get older, our skin becomes thinner, less elastic, and more sensitive, especially in intimate areas. The vaginal tissue, in particular, loses some of its natural protective barriers due to the decline in estrogen. That means it's more prone to irritation, rashes, and even infections. When we sleep in tight or synthetic underwear, we're trapping heat and moisture against this already delicate area, and that's a breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. It may seem like a minor thing, but our skin needs to breathe, especially overnight. Nighttime is when the body repairs and rebalances. It's when your skin, including your most intimate skin, should rest and regenerate. Wrapping it in layers of fabric, particularly non-breathable ones, deprives it of that recovery. I didn't always know this. In fact, for most of my life, I wore underwear to bed without question. It wasn't until I began experiencing frequent discomfort, a subtle itch, a bit of dampness, a nagging irritation that came and went, that I finally paused to reconsider. I changed my detergent. I switched underwear brands. Nothing helped. Until a casual tea-time chat with a friend changed everything. Linda, ever the wise one in our circle, casually mentioned that she had stopped wearing underwear to bed. "Let your skin breathe," she said. "You wouldn't wrap your feet in tight socks overnight, would you?" That analogy hit home. I decided to try it. That night I wore only my loose cotton pajama bottoms, no underwear. It felt a little strange at first, almost rebellious. But the next morning I felt something I hadn't in weeks: relief. The itching had calmed, and there was no dampness, no irritation. I slept better, deeper. My body, especially the parts I had been quietly ignoring, felt grateful. The science backs this up. Doctors often recommend going underwear-free at night to reduce the risk of yeast infections and skin irritation. Without that tight layer, there's improved air circulation and reduced friction. For women experiencing menopause or post-menopausal dryness, it's especially important to keep things dry and ventilated. If you're not quite ready to go completely without underwear, that's okay. There's no rule book. Start with a few nights a week, or switch to very loose, breathable cotton styles. The goal is to eliminate compression and let your body rest. The surprising part? Once I got used to it, I found it liberating, not just physically, but emotionally. It became a small act of self-trust, of saying to myself, I know what's best for my body and I choose ease over tradition. In fact, I shared this with my book club. Cautiously, I admit. But to my surprise, nearly everyone had a story. Some had already made the switch. Others were curious but hesitant. A few weeks later, more than half had tried it. And the reviews, glowing. Better sleep, less irritation, a new sense of comfort they hadn't known they were missing. So tonight, when you reach for your pajamas, ask yourself, do I really need that extra layer? Or could I give my skin the rest it's been quietly asking for? Letting go of underwear at night isn't just about physical health, it's about emotional comfort too. So it's a quiet rebellion against outdated routines and a warm embrace of your body as changing needs. Problem 5. Using scented or harsh detergents. There's something undeniably nostalgic about the scent of freshly washed laundry. For decades, I associated that clean smell, lavender, ocean breeze, spring meadow, with care, love, and home. It was my little comfort, especially after retirement when those quiet daily routines became more meaningful. But what if that soothing scent has been silently sabotaging your health all along? Most of us don't question our detergent. We grow up using the brands our mothers used, the ones that made our sheets smell like summer and our clothes feel fresh. And when we age, we often continue those habits without thinking twice. But here's the hard truth. As your skin becomes more delicate with age, the chemicals in those scented detergents and fabric softeners may become your worst enemy. I started noticing it in my late 60s, an itch that wouldn't go away. Then came the redness, the burning sensation that lingered long after I changed clothes. I tried new underwear, changed brands, blamed dry weather, even bought expensive creams. But the irritation kept returning, until finally, a routine checkup changed everything. My doctor asked a simple question. What kind of detergent do you use? When I proudly mentioned my go-to Fresh Rain ultra-scented liquid, her face said it all. She gently explained that scented detergents often leave residues on fabrics. These aren't just fragrances. They're a cocktail of perfumes, preservatives, dyes, and synthetic softening agents, all of which cling to the threads of your underwear and rub against your most sensitive skin all day, every day. For women over 60, this is no small issue. Our skin is thinner, less resilient, and our natural immune defenses are slower. Even small irritations can spiral into recurring yeast infections, allergic rashes, or worse. Those lovely smelling clothes might be clean in scent, but they're carrying invisible irritants. The solution? Switch to a fragrance-free hypoallergenic detergent, especially for anything that touches your intimate areas. Look for labels that say free and clear, sensitive skin, or no added fragrance. Skip the softener entirely, or opt for a vinegar rinse instead, which naturally softens fabric without chemical buildup. I also started running an extra rinse cycle, not because I'm obsessive, but because I learned that standard washing doesn't fully remove detergent residue. Especially in dense fabrics like underwear elastic, those residues build up over time. Within just a week of switching, I noticed the difference. My skin stopped itching. The redness faded. I felt cleaner, not perfumed, but truly clean. My underwear felt softer without that chemical stiffness. And best of all, I could finally breathe easy, literally and figuratively. It wasn't just a physical change, but a mindset shift. I realized I'd spent decades chasing a manufactured idea of cleanliness based on smell, not actual hygiene. I wanted my clothes to smell like a commercial, even if my body was telling me otherwise. And I'm not alone. When I shared this discovery with my bingo group, almost every woman admitted to using the same heavily fragranced detergent and struggling with similar symptoms. A few made the switch, and soon we were swapping detergent recommendations like old recipes. One even said it helped her granddaughter's eczema. Here's the takeaway. Clean doesn't have to smell like anything. Clean is when your skin feels calm. Clean is comfort, softness, and knowing that your most intimate clothing isn't laced with hidden chemicals. You've cared for your family all your life. Now it's time to care for yourself with the same thoughtfulness. Start by washing your underwear in a gentler way. You might be surprised how much of a difference it makes. Not just in your skin, but in your confidence, your comfort, and your peace of mind. Problem 6. Using panty liners every day. There was a time when panty liners felt like my little secret weapon. They promised comfort, freshness, and a sense of control in a world that, as we age, can sometimes feel unpredictable. Especially after menopause, when our bodies change in subtle but powerful ways. A little extra discharge here, a small leak after a laugh there. Panty liners seemed like the perfect solution. So, like many women I know, I started using them daily. One in the morning off to the day's tasks, and I didn't think twice. But over the years, something began to change. At first it was mild, a bit of itching, a faint redness. I chalked it up to laundry detergent or maybe dry air. Then came the lingering discomfort, the feeling of dampness even after a fresh change, and worse, the return of yeast infections I hadn't experienced since my 40s. I couldn't make sense of it, until a brief conversation with my doctor shed light on what I was ignoring. She asked me simply, "Are you using panty liners every day?" I nodded, feeling slightly embarrassed as though I had admitted to a bad habit. "Even when you don't need them?" She followed. I shrugged. "Just in case," I said. That's when she gently explained that panty liners, especially when used daily, create a warm, humid environment, exactly what bacteria and yeast thrive on. Even the thinnest unscented liners block airflow. When worn all day, especially in tight or synthetic underwear, they trap moisture and warmth close to the skin. For postmenopausal women whose natural protective flora have decreased, this sets the stage for irritation, rashes, and recurrent infections. I was shocked. I'd thought I was being clean, proactive, even prepared. But in truth, I was overmanaging my body, not listening to it. So I experimented. I went a day without one, then two. On days when I wasn't leaving home or expecting much activity, I gave my body a break. I swapped to breathable cotton underwear and looser-fitting clothes. And a funny thing happened. I felt better. The redness faded. The itching disappeared. I didn't feel less clean. I felt more comfortable, and I began to trust my body again. Now, I use liners only when I absolutely need them. A long trip, a day out, or during those unpredictable moments. But never just in case, and when I do use them, I choose unscented cotton-based options and make sure to change them every few hours. There's also a powerful emotional shift in this change. For decades, we've been told to be tidy, contained, and always prepared. It becomes a habit rooted not in hygiene, but in shame, fear of leaks, of being seen as messy or unladylike. But the truth is, our bodies are not a problem to be fixed. They are a home to be cared for. When I shared this with my women's book group, the reaction was eye-opening. Nearly every woman admitted to using panty liners daily, most just in case. And most had also experienced some kind of irritation, but never thought to question the liner itself. One friend compared it to walking around with a damp paper towel in your underwear all day, soft, but always slightly wet and never quite comfortable. It made us all laugh, but also think. Our bodies are trying to talk to us. That mild burning, the occasional itch, the odd little rash, these aren't random. They're signals, and instead of muting them with layers and chemicals, we can respond with care. So here's what I wish someone had told me years ago. You don't need to wear a panty liner every single day. You just don't. If you feel fresher and freer without it, that's not a fluke. That's your body breathing a sigh of relief. Clean doesn't come from covering up. It comes from trusting yourself, choosing breathable fabrics and letting your skin have the freedom it needs to be healthy. Problem 7. Ignoring the impact of underwear on incontinence. Even the word feels like something we're not supposed to say out loud. For generations, women have been taught to quietly endure its inconveniences, to chalk it up to aging, childbirth, or just being a woman. We cross our legs when we sneeze, we laugh carefully, we map every outing by the nearest restroom, and through it all we rarely stop to ask whether our underwear, that most basic intimate layer of clothing, is helping or hurting us. For a long time, I didn't either. After turning 65, I began experiencing occasional leaks. Nothing dramatic, just a few damp spots on a brisk walk or a little wetness after a hearty laugh. It was easy to brush off at first. I wore a panty liner, changed more frequently, and assumed that was the best I could do. I thought underwear was just underwear. But as time passed, the small leaks became more common. I started feeling embarrassed. I began avoiding long outings or sitting through long dinners, and worst of all, I started losing confidence in my body. Then one day, I was speaking with my doctor about recurring irritation. I expected her to prescribe a cream or tell me to switch laundry detergents again. Instead, she asked a simple question. What kind of underwear are you wearing? That caught me off guard. I shrugged. Regular cotton briefs, sometimes with a liner. She nodded slowly. The right underwear, she said gently, can make all the difference, especially when dealing with light incontinence. She explained that many traditional underwear styles, especially older pairs or those not designed with moisture in mind, actually trap dampness against the skin. This not only increases the risk of irritation, chafing, and odor, but also contributes to skin breakdown over time. And for women with more fragile postmenopausal skin, this can lead to chronic discomfort, even infections. Worse, many of us try to fix the problem by layering, adding panty liners, pads, or even 2 pairs of underwear. But all this does is trap more heat and moisture, making things worse. That came when she introduced me to a category I hadn't given serious thought: incontinence underwear. At first I resisted. I imagined thick, noisy, adult diapers, not something I could picture myself wearing with dignity. But she encouraged me to explore modern options, and wow, was I surprised. Today's incontinence underwear has evolved far beyond what I imagined. It's soft, breathable, discreet, and, dare I say it, stylish. Many look exactly like normal panties, but with built-in absorbency, odor control, and moisture-wicking layers that keep you dry without the bulk. Some even offer light-shaping support, helping you feel more held, not more self-conscious. I bought a couple of pairs, fully intending to wear them only at home. But the first time I wore one out to the grocery store, I was amazed. No anxiety, no awkward checking, no dampness, just freedom. And that freedom was worth everything. Over time, I began replacing my regular underwear drawer with these new supportive pairs. Not all at once, just gradually. And the change wasn't just physical, it was emotional. I no longer felt ashamed or broken. I felt smart. I felt proactive. I felt proud of taking care of myself instead of pretending everything was fine. Now, I tell every woman I meet, if you're experiencing even mild incontinence, don't suffer in silence. Don't layer up or cross your fingers and hope for the best. Find the underwear that supports your reality, not the one that fits a version of yourself from 20 years ago. It's not giving up. It's growing wise. You deserve underwear that works with your body, not against it. That means soft waistbands that don't dig in, absorbent materials that keep you dry without irritation, and a fit that moves with you, not something you're constantly adjusting. There are now brands that offer all sorts of beautiful options, from briefs to hipsters, even lace-trimmed designs that make you feel like you again. And the best part? No one needs to know. No one will know, unless you choose to share as I'm doing now. Because the real gift of the right underwear isn't to just dry skin, it is peace of mind. So if you've been doubling up, layering pads, or skipping outings out of fear of leaks, take a moment to ask yourself, is my underwear part of the solution or part of the problem? You've carried children, homes, families, responsibilities. It's time to carry yourself with the same compassion. Problem 8. Holding on to old habits around underwear. We all have routines, little habits we follow each day, often without even thinking. For many women over 60, our underwear routine is one of those. We reach for the same drawer, pick the same style, wash with the same detergent, fold and store the same way. And in the quiet comfort of routine, we rarely stop to question whether those habits are still serving us. But here's the truth no one talks about. What worked for your body at 30 might be hurting it at 70. When I was younger, I wore lace thongs, snug hipsters, even synthetic shapewear. Back then they made sense. I wanted a certain silhouette, a sleek look, maybe even a little boost in confidence. And sure, I put up with the wedgies, the red marks, the occasional itch, because I believed that was just part of being a woman. But over time, as life slowed down and my priorities shifted, those old choices didn't feel right anymore. Still, I clung to them, maybe out of habit, maybe out of nostalgia, or maybe because I wasn't quite ready to accept that my body had changed, and that it was okay to let go. It took one summer heat wave to finally snap me out of it. I was visiting my daughter's family, running after grandkids, when the familiar burn started again, itching, sweating, discomfort in all the wrong places. And it hit me like a wave. I was wearing the wrong underwear for this stage of life. Not just the wrong fabric or the wrong size, but the wrong mindset. I had been treating my underwear like a symbol of who I used to be, rather than a tool for who I am now. So I started to reflect. What else was I doing out of outdated habit? Still folding my underwear into neat little squares like I learned in my 20s. Still using scented dryer sheets because it's what Mom did. Still saving the nice pairs for special occasions that never come. Still avoiding granny panties, as if comfort was something to be ashamed of. But here's the thing, comfort is not a compromise. Comfort is wisdom. When we're younger, we sacrifice comfort for style. But as we grow older, we earn the right to prioritize what feels good and not apologize for it. Letting go of old underwear habits doesn't mean letting yourself go. It means evolving. It means giving yourself permission to wear what feels good even if it's not what fashion magazines recommend. Buy new underwear not because it's sexy, but because it's supportive. Wash with gentle, scent-free detergents because your skin deserves peace, not perfume. Toss the old pairs, the ones that pinch or sag or hold too many stories. And here's something no one tells you. When you change your underwear habits, you change how you move through the world. You fidget less. You feel fresher. You walk with more ease. You stop thinking about discomfort and start focusing on joy. I'll never forget the day I slipped into a brand new, high-rise, breathable cotton brief with a wide waistband. It was soft. It was simple. It hugged my body like a quiet reassurance. I've got you. No tugging, no adjusting, just comfort. I smiled in the mirror and realized I looked like me. Not the me from 30 years ago, the now me. The woman who has raised children, buried loved ones, survived heartbreak, earned every line on her face and every curve in her hips. So here's my invitation to you. Revisit your underwear drawer, not with shame or dread, but with curiosity. Ask, what am I still holding on to? What still serves me? What needs to go? This isn't just about fabric, it's about mindset. By letting go of outdated underwear habits, you're sending a message to yourself. I matter, I'm allowed to change, and I'm worth the upgrade. Because you are. Every inch of you, from your smile to your skin to the cotton that hugs your hips, deserves to be treated with respect. It's easy to ignore the smallest details in our daily lives, like the underwear we wear. But what touches our skin each day can deeply impact how we feel, our comfort, our health, our confidence. This journey isn't about shame or vanity. It's about listening to your body with compassion and choosing ease over outdated routines. Every small change, switching fabrics, loosening fits, letting go of unnecessary products, adds up to something powerful, a healthier, more comfortable, more empowered you. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now it's time to care for yourself, not with luxury but with wisdom, because comfort isn't indulgence, it's self-respect, and you, dear soul, have earned it. So tomorrow when you open that drawer, may you choose what feels good, and may each gentle choice remind you, you are still growing, still learning, and still worthy of every ounce of comfort.